So, every Pokemon is somebody's favorite, but there's one Pokemon in particular that is my mortal enemy. Back before Generation 8, I could claim I never met a Pokemon that I did not like. But since two terrible games came out, I now finally, after so many years, have a proper top 10 list that actively. A Pokemon that actively make the game worse for me. I hope you enjoy it. Number 10, Lechonk. Lechonk offended me as soon as it came out. Have you ever noticed a little something offensive about its name? Its name is partly derived from an Asian racial slur, and I really don't like this. The thing is, whenever I think of Pokemon, I think of a game that's welcoming to everybody, no matter how different they might be, and to have a Pokemon in the game based on a racial slur, that just rubs me the wrong way. I really do not like this Pokemon's name because Pokemon's a place where I had a very good experience, well, up until Sword and Shield. So it makes me honestly mortified to know that such unacceptance is in the Pokemon developers' mind. Number 9, Sylveon. So, this one takes a bit of explaining. I used to be completely okay with Sylveon. A lot of people know at this point that Glaceon is my favorite evolution, and in fact, one of my top favorite Pokemon. However, um, Sylveon's a bit different for me. Um, Sylveon has done something to one of my friends to um, that I find kind of annoying. So I had a very good friend who I'm not going to name here because he's not also a public figure like I am. And he was trying to get an Umbreon in Pokemon Legends Arceus, which, by the way, is one of the worst Pokemon games ever made. Um, Seeing him so frustrated with this made me feel really weird. Like it felt wrong for him. I used to be fine with Sylveon aside from the fact that it's my least favorite type fairy, which, side note, I do not actually dislike the fairy type. Um, but also, there's some really weird people who use as their icon, and I kind of feel weird about it. Number 8 on our list goes to Dragapult. Now, this seems really weird since Giratina is also Ghost Dragon type and it happens to be my favorite Pokemon, so why would a non-legendary Giratina be on my least favorite list? Well, here's the thing. Firstly, one of them is more petty and unrelated to the games themselves, but a long time ago on an anonymous online forum, someone showed me a diagram of it aborting its babies to fling them at its enemies, and I can't unsee it. Like, each time I see Dragapult, that gross image pops into my brain, and I hate it. Like, why do people make gross fan art like that of Pokemon? Also, um, I hate playing against it in competitive because it is excessively fast with no drawbacks. Everybody knows me as an anything goes player that is fine with just about anything that could be in the game, no matter how powerful it is. But Generation 8 is where even I started to develop problems with the power level in the metagame. Um, is excessively fast at 142 base speed, and it even actually outclasses Giratina, funnily enough. So, if I'm building a restricted team, I'm thinking I want to use Giratina because it's my favorite Pokemon, but then I'm instantly bombarded with ideas that, oh, Dragapult's basically a better version of my Giratina that doesn't take up a restricted slot. So, that's an unpleasant experience. Number 7 is Fluttermane. Well, to put it simply, let's slap feathers and OP stats on Misdreavus and call it a new Pokemon. Paradox Pokemon were a mistake. All jokes aside, you remember what I said about Dragapult? Watermane is also excessively fast with no drawbacks. This time it is Fairy type and has some of the best moves in the game. Fluttermane is Ghost Fairy type, which is almost impossible to resist. It can Terrestrialize to make Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam first strike moves with, quite frankly, excessive power. You know Wolfglick's least favorite Pokemon is Xerneas because he thinks that Geomancy makes it unfair? Well, look at this. Fluttermane has that power without even needing Geomancy. And sure, along with the Roaring Moon. Also, Roaring Moon almost caused me to become an amputee a couple years ago, and I rolled my chair over my left leg trying to shiny hunt that thing. And those two are why I think Paradox Pokemon were a mistake. Number 6 on our list is Zacian. Zacian is, again, a fairy type Pokemon with excessively high speed for its power level. Only this time, this thing is literally the strongest Pokemon ever created for a different reason. Firstly, it is Fairy Steel type, which means it is the single best type in the game with no drawbacks. Fairy Steel has very few weaknesses compared to other fairy type combinations. Sorry, just yawning there. Like Fairy Steel is mathematically the best type in the game, and Zacian also made the Dynamax generation more unfun than for me than it already was. I've already said on occasion that I really do not like Dynamax, and part of it is because if I Dynamax the wrong Pokemon, then I'm just invalidated by Zacian. It is so frustrating to play against. Um, a long time ago, I was looking through the list of defensive Pokemon, and I was doing very specific calculations to see if they could survive Zacian, and even specific Zacian counterplay does not work. Um, Zacian was nerfed going into Scarlet and Violet, but I really do not like this Pokemon, partly because of how much of a bad experience it was for me in its home generation. By the way, you might notice I'm in a men's work uniform, not my Pikachu hoodie, and using my real voice. And this is because I was kicked out of college, and I'm back in my mom's house, where she really does not like who I am, to put it simply. Not to talk badly about her, but she really hates that I don't like being male. If you care about to me, please subscribe to me so I can get enough money to move out finally. Number 5 on our list is Cinderace. This Pokemon takes a bit of explaining. It, it's a weird rabbit Pokemon, which might make you think Lopunny would be in this spot, but no, I actually like Lopunny, contrary to what people might think. So Cinderace grosses me out because it looks like a cross between a Playboy bunny and a furry, which makes me feel really weird. Also, you ever know something weird about its move Pyro Ball? It feels like an innuendo of kicking someone in the crotch, and it's really gross to me. I despise Cinderace so much. Our number 4 spot on our list is Urshifu. Haha, you expected this to be number 1, didn't you? It's become somewhat of a meme at this point that I thoroughly despise Urshifu. Anyone who plays the competitive game knows that Urshifu is capable of doing all sorts of ridiculous things. Urshifu is capable of bypassing Protect with no drawback thanks to Unseen Fist. It has a move that critical hits for free with no drawback, and it even has 2 forms that are indistinguishable in Team Preview. I think they were in Sword and Shield. I don't know if they're just distinguishable in Scarlet and Violet, but I know for certain they're indistinguishable in Sword and Shield at Team Preview. However, here's why it's not higher on the list. I greatly misunderstood how Urshifu works. I was unaware until recently that in Generation 6, critical hits were nerfed from doing 2 times the damage to 1.5 times. Now, this is a big difference because the way I was factoring in the old formula was I was using the old critical hit modifier. without knowing it changed. So I was going on the assumption that um, Wicked Blow was 160 power with no drawbacks, basically. Instead, it's 120, which is still really high, but not quite as bad as I thought it was. Um, the difference is big enough that because I misunderstood it so drastically, it doesn't deserve a higher spot on this list. Um, in addition, right now terrestrialization's what's making it so bad, but in the Dynamax generation, it was actually balanced around the mechanic, which oh, I can't believe I'm saying that. Something was balanced in the Dynamax generation. Um, Dynamax actually kept Urshifu in check, and while it was strong, it never felt completely necessary. Um, Furthermore, the fact that it's a DLC Pokemon is counterbalanced by the fact that I think design-wise, Urshifu is really cool. Like, I've talked about a couple on this list, how, for instance, I really hate Lechonk because of its design offending me. I actually think Urshifu's cool design-wise. It's just competitive-wise. That's actually why it's on the list. Back before competitive, I really liked Urshifu, actually. So, this part of the list, I've got some honorable mentions. Golden is an honorable mention. I hated having to find 999 coins. It wasn't hard, it was just grindy and took too long. Also, its ability good as gold is stupid, and it ruins the metagame. Another honorable mention I have is Wobbuffet. This Pokemon messes me up in Nuzlocke in the Battle Tower, but I've come to find out I love it anyway. Wobbuffet is like, there was a time when I really hated Wobbuffet, but the time has passed because I've come to realize that Wobbuffet is just as capable of helping me achieve things than mess things up for me. Screamtail is another honorable mention because, well, let's sticky tack a Ponytail and Jigglypuff and call it a new Pokemon. Paradox Pokemon were a mistake. Dollar's another one that I don't like for a petty reason. It trips me up on remember every Pokemon quizzes because I forget it exists. Like, it's just so forgettable. Galarian Darmanitan ruined Darmanitan's Zen mode gimmick. Getting just a boost to attack and speed and not a more nuanced stat spread where it's better at different things from its original form, that goes against the point of Zen mode. It's really uncreative, and I hate it so much. I really prefer Unova Darmanitan. Also, its other ability, Guerrilla Tactics, ruins the game. It's literally a choice band as an ability. You can stick on a choice scarf and have it outspeed and destroy everything, or you can attach another choice band and destroy even dedicated defense Pokemon. Finally, for honorable mentions, is Gouging Fire. The Zamazenta shield thing on its forehead sticks out like a sore thumb. It's very obvious that whoever created Entei is not the same person who created Gouging Fire. I cannot stand the uncreativity behind this thing. Number 3 on our list is Maushold. I hate Maushold for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it completely copies Centino's role but does it 10 times better. I am not joking. Maushold has a move called Population Bomb, which hits 10 times in one turn without even needing skilling. For comparison, look at Centino's ability, Technician, and its signature move, Tail Slap. The difference here is that Maushold's capable of firing off Population Bomb completely for free, so you can use Technician to power it up, but Centino needs Technician just to have a less powerful move at full power. That's power creep at its definition. This is so mean to Centino, especially since Centino is one of my favorite Pokemon, and I really regret skipping over it during my first White 2 playthrough. There's also a completely stupid strategy Maushold is capable of doing. Simply attack an item that adds flinch chance, like King's Rock, Razor Fang. There might be some I'm even missing. And it's capable of using Population Bomb to flinch the opponent 90% of the time, which is stupid. I have seen people pair Mousehold with Prankster Tailwind Murkrow and then use Population Bomb with King's Rock. No, I'm not joking. Like this is a real strategy I've seen on the Pokemon Showdown ladder. Also, I just don't like Mousehold design-wise. It's a bunch of stupid cartoon mouses. It's disgusting. Its mouth opening animation is not cute. It's disgusting and obnoxious. Number 2 on our list goes to Milcery. This Pokemon is supposed to be a cream splash, right? Well, somebody needs to be told that cream is not yellow. Milcery looks like semen, and it is so disgusting. It grossed me out the first time I saw it. It doesn't look like an official Pokemon at all. It looks like a hentai fan fiction you would find on, let's just say, Yellow and Black YouTube. Please do not look that up if you're not old enough to know what that is. I'm so grossed out by Milcery, and quite frankly, I would have rather them base it on pizza sauce so it looks like period blood and it feels less disgusting. And finally, for our number 1, my most hated Pokemon of all time is Calyrex. Anyone who knows about my history as a competitive player knows that Calyrex is one of my least favorite Pokemon. And how I knew to put it at number 1 on this list is that I have the same feelings about it as I did when I first realized how much it ruined competitive for me. Firstly, it is a DLC Pokemon that is not cheap to get. If you have just Scarlet and Violet, you literally have to pay $90 plus tax to not only get the DLC for Sword and Shield, but also get Sword or Shield itself. And Sword and Shield are quite frankly the worst Pokemon games ever. And so you first have to play an unfun game that's really expensive to get it. But here's the thing, this Pokemon is super broken and not fun to play against. Its Shadow Rider form has this move called Astral Barrage that is 120 base power and never misses. Plus, it's a spread move that hits both enemies in double battles. It is also Psychic Ghost type, so if you're playing Calyrex versus Calyrex, it's a coin flip on who wins, not, it's nothing to do with skill, like, it's just who's lucky enough to get the better RNG. That's just never a good place for the metagame to be in. The other thing with Calyrex is, it's also very unappealing to use. Like, whenever I'm playing with Calyrex on my team, then if I encounter another Calyrex player, then it's a coin toss on who wins rather than actual skill if it comes to Calyrex versus Calyrex. But even worse, I've run into players on the ladder who are obviously 10-year-olds without the DLC. It feels so bad just crushing them into the dirt with Calyrex. Like, it's never a satisfying win because it feels like I'm cheating. So, that just sucks the fun out of it for me. I don't enjoy feeling like I didn't give the opponent a fair chance when I'm playing on the ladder. Like, I know I like playing Anything Goes where all the legendaries are, but the thing is, unlike most other legendaries which just feel, oh, this is just a regular Pokemon with some cool gimmick like Giratina's form changing or Darkrai Dark Void, Calyrex legitimately feels unfair if I'm using it and destroy an opponent who doesn't have it. It just feels like an auto win button, and that's not fun for me. But I also have to use it to have a fair chance against players who do bring it. So I'm stuck in a prisoner's dilemma where do I bring Calyrex and crush people who don't have access to it, or do I leave Calyrex out of my team and open myself to just being beaten by people who do have it? I've experienced both sides of why Calyrex is bad for the game. Calyrex makes the game so not fun for me that when I try a new Pokemon game, whether it be a ROM hack or official, my first question is, will Calyrex be in this game? And if it is, how bad is it gonna be for me? Scarlet and Violet made Calyrex a lot worse by adding terrestrialization, which enables you to change Calyrex into a fairy type to bypass all of its checks and counters. So there's this one strategy with Calyrex that involves using Draining Kiss with Terra Fairy. It can break past Yveltal in National Dex Anything Goes matches. Overall, I thoroughly despise Calyrex. It is so unfun to play with or against. The sole reason why I stopped playing VGC this year and will boycott it forever until they quit Dexit and bring back every Pokemon. Thanks so much for watching, and as you can see, all these bad Pokemon are in Generation 8 or 9, with the exception of Sylveon, and please leave a like and subscribe, and if you were planning to buy Legends ZA for Christmas this year, buy one of the older games that are actually good instead.